Teju, we are free. Let's go to the market together. I need to source furniture. I need to source just different things to make up the space. Apart from my love for arranging things and putting things in order, right? So I mean, I did that with her. And in my head, I'm like, I mean, this is a good one. Let's see where this leads us. Fortunately for me, I had a friend that was already an interior decorator, right? That sold wallpapers and so many other things. And she's like, oh, we can partner. Let's see how we can work together. And to be honest, that was it. And that's how interior design started for me. So it started first as decorations, sales of wallpapers, curtains, blinds, before we then moved into full renovation, full interior research, offices, and the likes. Yes.
I love it. I think most women, most moms start business. Did your auntie start out of love for it, or it was that I'm not working, so let me do a business?
No, no. So my aunt, she had gotten a quick notice. And then she was like, Teju, I need to source these things. Let's
Right, you
do it
said that.
together. But my
Mm-hmm.
mom naturally was that girl that would I mean, my mom is a teacher, but in her
Okay.
school, people liked what she wore. So you hear people say, please buy this for me, please buy this for me. And then she's like, you know what? Let's make this thing a business. And then she just added a
Yeah.
little, yeah, then she just added a bit more of other things here and there just to, yeah, and that was it for me. Yes, that was it
Right.
for
So
me.
you talked briefly on how you got it, but how did you really now? Was it a passion for interior design that you had, and you're like, oh,
Hmm.
or was it because your auntie had sort of like laid the foundation for you
I
that now
think
built?
that, yes, I think that my auntie had laid it, right? But also know that I had, I mean, I started to sell stuff, not interior design things, right? But decor pieces that make up a space. So
Yes.
I had started to sell elements. So there's a
Mm,
difference between an interior decorator and interior designer. An interior decorator is one who puts bits and pieces together, right? Or even sells them. But we as interior designers take your space from scratch, right? From
right.
either from plain canvas, either from foundation, either from screeding, right? Either from just block work, right? We take it from that point. And it's not just design, it is engineering, it is architecture. So we take you through that process before you see what you see in a space now. Yes.
Right. So what was your first step? Was this a case? Was this at university? Was it something that made you say,
No.
was this before you got married? Was it after you got married? Like take us through, because we're talking about, a lot of women, especially when you become a mom and
Mm-hmm.
you're working. I know a lot of women that had to leave work because
Mm-hmm.
they got married, not just because they got married, because they got pregnant and they're like, I cannot leave my child with just
Yes.
anybody. So was
Mm-hmm.
this before, or was it during? Was it after? If it was before, and I'm asking so many questions,
Yeah, no, that's
did
fine. That's
you
fine.
did you having a
That's
son
fine.
now make you now, I need to turn Yara Sisha kind of thing?
No, okay. So for me, it was after service. So while I was serving in Lagos, right,
Mm-hmm.
on the side, I worked with an insurance company. On the
Okay.
side, I was doing gifts, right?
Right.
Right in between was when my auntie lost her job,
Mm-hmm.
lost her house rather,
House.
and she was looking for another apartment and furniture pieces and all to set up.
Mm-hmm.
After service, I didn't get a job. I mean, I looked around. And I studied industrial chemistry, right? But the jobs were not coming forth. So I'm like, you know what? Rather than wait, I mean, I already had these little things I was doing on the side, gift items, wallpapers. At a point, I even learned how to make small chops. I learned how to make beads. Yes, I can make beads. I did a whole lot of things before I got to
Wow.
that point where
Mm.
I'm like, you know what? I enjoy fabric. I enjoy texture. I enjoy watching spaces move from what it is now to 100. So okay, let's see what this part looks like, And that was it for me. It was not a question of I always wanted to do interior design. I found myself there, and trust me, I remember telling somebody how I like to say that I was self-taught in the beginning. I had to learn a lot of things from market boys, from artisans, from YouTube, right? Before I did my research, and I'm like, you know what, Edri, you know some of these things. A lot of people like your work. You need to move beyond. only wallpapers. There is more to interior design and interior
Right.
decoration than
Mhm.
wallpapers and blinds. I then just checked Instagram and I found um somebody in the interior design industry at the moment had mentioned that she was training with Temitope Olagbegi, Six Sense Interiors. Yes, and I just saw that they put out a post that they needed an intern. So bear in mind that I lived in Barua Paja, like inside. And then I sent a message like I would like to intern. I remember leaving Ipaja that morning at 5:36 a.m. I got to Lekki in the rain. But because I was determined, right? I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. It is beyond just YouTube. You need to gain real life experiences, right? And then I got there. I think she just really liked me and I got the job. And she's like, oh, okay, let's do this. Come so and so time. Bear in mind that I was still doing my business on the side. I was
On the
making
side.
pillows. Yes, I was
Yeah.
making people. I needed to serve because I knew, like, I knew the essence of just, you know what, calm down. You know some things, but you
Mhm.
can do more. You can learn more. You can get more experience. I think that that experience for me was really eye opening because just by working with them, I remember then I met with like top people in the industry, like
Right.
celebrities,
Mhm.
Alibaba, his wife. I went to their house, like so many other people. And then I learned first-hand experience on the field before the theory. I remember, I like to say this a lot. I remember one time, Mr. Olagregi sent me to Yaba to look for rugs. And she's very finicky, like she loves details. She's very
Mhm.
precise about the things that she wants, right? And then I got to the market, I took a bike, I went to a co. I sent her pictures. She's like, no, Tejo, I don't like this. It's not what I want. I said, okay. I went to Yaba. She said, no, Tejo, these pictures are not giving what I wanted to give. I'm like, but guess what? In all of this, I did not get angry. I knew that it was my learning process. This process
Mhm.
was going to cause the shifts that I needed. So I stayed at it. I was not getting paid. I was doing it
For free.
voluntarily. Yes, for free. Yes, for free. And I got to Laurancine and she's like, Teju, you know what? Don't worry. This was 6:30. She said, don't worry, Teju, I'm in Yaba already. I'll pick it. She was like, I'm in Yaba already. I'm going to get it myself. In my head, I'm like, what? You made me do
Go.
all of this, and then you now decided to come. And you know, that taught me. I think that alone was my one of my resilience stories because I was not upset. I'm like, you know what, you this man, everything that you know, that point that you got to, I will learn it and I will do it gracefully. After that experience, 2 days ago, she sent a message through her manager to say, I'm going to be offering Tejumola a free training. That singular act. I mean, at that time, I could not afford 180,000 for her training. And
Training.
she's like, that singular act has won my heart. And I like her. I like her can do spirit. And that was it for me. And that's why I usually like to tell people that, see, as much as you know certain things, service and just learning under somebody, like it's not the
Mhm.
money first,
Yeah.
is I mean the passion is there. Allow me, use me, allow me work
Mm.
for you,
Mm.
allow me show that I have value, and then I mean everything just makes sense from there. Yeah.
I absolutely love it because I was going to ask you about skills and training. One of the things that is lacking right now is nobody wants to serve.
Mm-hmm.
And that I see, in fact, if you go down the road to apprentices, a mechanic workshop or a carpenter
Yeah.
workshop, will tell you that nobody wants to serve anymore. And I think that's an important thing to note because if you're able to serve, you learn for free,
Yes.
literally. And then you
Yes.
get to learn, or you see all the intricacies, you see all the tiny, tiny things that if you may be paid for it, you may not get because they are teaching you
Absolutely.
based off of a curriculum as
Yes.
opposed to I'm pouring myself into this. Look, use me as you want to use me.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that. Right about now, it is 20 minutes past 12, and this is still Women Radio 91.7. We have Tejumola Okwande, creative director and interior designer at Pavon Designs on her business this afternoon. Okay, my next question for you is when you started your business, what were the biggest challenges you faced? How did you get your first client? I know I'm asking two questions in one, but I'm
Yeah.
also time like how what were the challenges you faced? Was finding your first client a challenge at all, or
Okay.
I mean, however way you want to answer, I guess you can answer.
I like to say that being consistency,
Hmm.
right, was consistency was a major part of my business, like word of mouth as well. You won't believe how I got my first client. My first client was gotten through somebody that I offered my gifting services to. So I created a really nice
Right.
gift. Yes, I created a really nice gift for um this colleague, and then she then reached out and said, "Oh, I would also like to get a gift." Well, over time, I mean, I delivered that gift beautifully. I delivered it myself, right?
Hmm.
I always did that at the beginning of my business because I also wanted to connect with whoever I was doing business with at the
Hmm.
beginning. I mean, I can't do that now, but
Now,
right? But I did that a lot. And
hmm.
then this person constantly saw that, oh, I was doing wallpapers, I was doing blinds. And then one time he just called me up and said that he got an apartment and he would really love for me to see it. Prior that one, I'd gotten messages like that. But once I start to do up the invoice, I ghost because I was comfortable with 10K,
Doing it for
20K.
free.
Yeah, doing it for free and just telling you that, oh, I love what I do. I'm passionate about it. I really don't want money. I just want you to be happy, right? I did that for such a long time. And then I'll just ghost. And then this particular person was persistent. And he was one of those clients that, how now when people sometimes when people reach out to you, you're like, oh, how many followers do you have? Can you even afford me? Guess what? This person had less than 500 followers. And then he's like, yes. And I'm like, how do you want to do up your house? Like, and then I started to do up the invoice, right? And it was really getting to see the six figures. And in my head, I'm like, can I do this? But I'm grateful that I did that because at that time, I mean, it wasn't a lot of money. And he even still negotiated, like, oh, no, I'm not going to pay this. I'm going to pay this. He paid. But guess what? That job, I mean, birthed other jobs. I had so when people saw that, oh, this girl is beyond wallpapers and blinds,
And
let's
give.
try her. Yes, and gifts, let's try her. 4 years, I mean 6 years after, 6 years after, this person comes back after he buys his house and says, Sergio, I know you did my house years back, but I trust you to transform my house. So you see how consistency and just really showing up brought me
Hmm.
here. So that was how I got my first major clients. I'm not sure I got the other
No, you
questions,
did
but I mean,
answer
yes,
because a
okay.
challenge you did because a challenge for you was pricing, and I want to
Yes,
even get to
pricing.
that because a lot of us, I have stuff I do on the side as well, and I'm like, yeah, I should charge you. And I think the issue is a lot of us put our we we size up the client
Yeah.
with our own pricing. Is it pricing? We size up the client based off of our own perspective of
Yes.
ourselves,
And
not
that's the
really
level
them.
of your understanding. Like you're not
Yes.
thinking big, you're not thinking I can get this. Yes, you're just thinking, oh, let's just play small. Let's not
Yes.
do more than ourselves. Yes.
Yes. And so I want you to actually speak to pricing. What was your, because that was your first experience, like, I can actually price. A lot of
Yes.
women, I think culturally, we're not taught to say big money, or we're not taught about money culturally. Oh,
Yes.
why should you charge to take care of your children? Why should
Yes.
you yeah, that kind of thing.
Yes.
I want you to
Yes.
speak to that in terms of a woman is out there listening and she's wondering, how can I get into pricing basically charging
Yes.
clients what I think that I am worth,
Your
regardless of
worth.
where they are financially or not, and being
Okay.
okay with them not being able to pay. I cannot pay, you are not my
And
customer,
that's
kind of thing.
okay.
Yes, I want you
Yeah.
to be able to speak to that. Yes.
So yeah, one of my early challenges as a business person was pricing. To be very honest, initially I started with, I love what I do. You don't have to pay me so much money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it for you for less. but
Mm-hmm.
I'll still give you the outputs of who pays whoever you're going to pay millions. So that was it for me. But it
Mm-hmm.
was so bad that I got into debt. I got into a lot of debts because I
Mm-hmm.
could not price well. So
Right.
I also had a challenge with once the artist, I mean artisans as well. So sometimes when they don't understand the vision and they don't understand the value that you have placed on your business, they get to deliver whatever they like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I then realized that because I did not price well, I had to do certain items over and over again. So you see me by the end of a project, I have borrowed money to complete the project. So by the time I am paid my balance, I am returning the money back. And I'm left with
No profit.
nothing. Exactly. I'm left with nothing. And then I think I spoke with an boy in the industry, like somebody that I really respect, when it got me here. And I'm like, see, I need help. And then she literally pulled me through. See, even God, these were her words with her husband. Even God wants you to make money in business.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Mm-hmm.
God wants you to enjoy yourself. God wants you to have the best things of life. And their question to me then was, do you want to travel? Do you want to spend time with family? Do you want to be able to buy the basic things or afford the basic things of life? I think that conversation caused a shift for me. I then
Mm-hmm.
began to look at, rather than, oh, okay, this thing is 20K, just give me 5K. So just pay 25K. It was more of percentage. It was more of, Teju, add value to whatever you are giving your clients. I then went further after having these different conversations to get an expert, right? And an accountant. I'm like, you know what? I give myself away. Use, like, go through my books, help me. This is what I've done in the past.
Yeah.
Help me do this right. Guess what? That was the turnaround that I needed. Because you would not believe that after these conversations and sessions that I had, I began to do up invoices. And I'm like, you know what? That's my price. I could give you a discount, but I've paid value on this business. You have to pay for the value.
Mm-hmm.
And interior design is not, sometimes people say that, I like to tell people that I'm not a luxurious brand, but I would give you value for money. If you cannot afford it, it's okay for me to lose you. Now I'm open to,
Mm-hmm.
if you can't afford me, I tell you your money is a lot. I can't do this. And I'm like, that's okay. We look forward to working with you next time. I think that people should also understand that in certain seasons of your life, certain amounts will feel like it. But when you grow, right, you then begin to feel like, I need to look better. I need to do better. And then you know how you also walk into spaces and you really want to be proud of your work, right? You want to tell people that, oh, I did this. And you want people to also walk into those spaces, look at the furniture, and be like, oh my God, I feel Teju in this space. It is not just passion, it's also money. Do you get? So as a
Money.
woman, yes, it's also money. So as a woman, make sure that these things, all like you put these things in place.
I know that this is, I'm enjoying myself. This is still Women Radio 91.7. This is still her business with Tejumala Pavon. Yeah, I'm trying to be professional, even though I know you
Oh, I
unprofessionally
get
as well.
it. I
So
get
the
it.
struggle is a little bit is real, and I know that I can tell that you brought a lot of people with you that are hailing you. Hello to everybody who's here with
Thank
you.
you,
I mean, your story is
everybody.
really inspiring, but I wanted you to also speak to taxing. We got into 2026 with, oh, they're taxing everybody and their mother, an arm, a leg, and their
Yes.
kidney. How does taxes or policies, how do they influence you as a businesswoman?
Thank you very much for that. I think that over time, I have, and thankfully, I started to pay tax like I started to pay tax already, even before the law came. I also
Wow.
was I'm that business person that wants to make sure my books are right,
Mhm.
right? And that did not happen at the beginning. But as the business began to grow, I realized that I needed to do these things. And then I also started to get jobs with Lagos States, where you will be asked these questions. You will be asked if you're a taxpayer, right? You will be asked if your books are right. Some people would ask you, oh, send so and so document. Let us know history of what you've done. But for tax, I think that knowing that I'm doing business the right way, and I also charge my clients tax, right? So it makes sense, no, VAT rather, but
Mm-hmm.
yes, it makes sense that I am not just, and I have my team number. Like I've gone through all of those processes to make sure that in the end, and you trust me, for certain jobs, you have to take certain steps. You have to do certain things for you to get certain jobs. So having all these policies, yes,
Mm-hmm.
very important for you to scale as a woman in business. Yes.
All right. How at what point did you realize that look, my business is real, is sustainable? I know you talked about
Yes.
one staff, two staff, and that's sort of like
Yes.
other people. What was the point that you said, no, 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 no. I need to take this business seriously. I can basically do magic with this business.
So I can't say precisely what year, but
Okay.
I like to say that at the point where I realized that I totally enjoy doing interior design,
Um,
I also want to build something that would outlive me, right?
mm,
I also want to build something that my family, my friends, my children will look at and be like, yes, my mom did this, my sister did this, my friend did this. At that point, I'm like, you know what, Teju, you need to do better. You need to
right.
do better. Yes, it was major for me because I started to tell myself, you can't play small anymore. This business is beginning to look like you can feed feed people, like put food on people's table. So you need to do right yourself. So yeah, I think that at that point, when I realized that it is beyond passion now, it is
Mm,
more of pouring into other people and making sure people look at their homes and like, yes, this girl designed the best space for me to make the best memories. So yeah, when I realized that passion wasn't enough anymore, I needed to make money of the business to help
okay.
other people go. But you know what? Thinking about it now, with my business, I'm able to put food on other people's tables. So our artisans, our drivers, right? Our
Carpenters.
artisans, our carpenters, our painters, right? They are able to also feed their families because I charged well, right? They are
Mm,
not getting peanuts anymore. They're getting
mm-hmm.
enough to take back home. So yeah, when it was more than passion now. Yes.
I don't know. We're running out of time. I have two more
Okay.
questions. So if it can be one more minute. My
Yeah.
first question would be, or my second to last question would be, how are you able to balance this being a wife and a mom? Because that's major for a lot of women.
Yes.
How do you balance being a successful business owner and
Mhm.
being a wife and being a mom?
See, I I don't think there's really balance.
Hmm.
I don't think that you can balance it. I think that it is making time for these things at different times. It's making time for your business when you should. It's showing up for your son when you should. It's showing up at church. And
When you
in
should
all
or
of
when you
this,
can.
what did you say? I didn't
When
get
you
that.
should or when you can.
Oh, when you can, so that
Mm-hmm.
you also don't burn out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that I have also created so much structure for myself that I'm able to get a nanny,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm also able to outsource certain things, right? Before I got here, I mean, bear in mind that I take my son to sites. I'll take him to sites even without a nanny. You see him playing with the driver or playing with the people on site. I did all of that before I could afford, okay, a nanny works, mommy works. Did you get? My sister works. And I think also it is important to have a village. There are times that, like, amazing support systems. There are times that I have to be in worry. I mean, and my son had to be home. But guess what? He also had to go to school. Everybody had to eat, right? So this is also putting structure in the different phases of your life. I've heard Mrs. Awoshika say something about allowing your money also work for you. If you Jigge, if you can afford it, get a nanny. If you can afford it, get a cook. If you can afford it, get a driver, right? If you can also afford it, get a team, right, that can work without you being there. So I traveled last year and everybody kept saying, Teju, you need to go. Just go. Don't worry. But my team kept saying, Ma, we are fine. Don't worry. I was away for a few days and they kept saying, Ma, don't send a message. We are fine. Like, we can do this. And that is what it should be, right? Put so much structure that none of these things die. You're able to say, oh, Monday to Fridays, I'm getting up early. I'm going to the gym. I'm dropping my son. I'm making food. You also even have a timetable for everything going on in your home. Do you get, just so that whoever comes in or whoever is going to come in already knows that these people, Tantalua wakes up at 5 a.m., wakes up at 6 a.m. By 6:30, he's ready. By 7 a.m., the driver comes to pick him. When he comes back, by 7, he's done eating. He's ready to, by 8, he's in bed. We're reading to him. So create that structure. And that's what I've done that has worked for me. Create that structure. Yes.
My last question would be, because we're running out of time.
Okay.
Somebody's listening to you and is wondering, look, I want to start a business. What's the first practical step that woman should take this week if she wants to? I mean, you said a lot. You talk about skills, learning, going to serve, you talk about pricing, putting yourself out there. You've also mentioned the challenges that you faced. But what's that first step that woman should take this week if she wants to start her business?
I would say do it regardless. I always say that. Take that step, take that bold step. Like, don't overthink it. Take the step. And to be honest, you don't even have to register the business first.
Right.
Just start. Right? Put on your status, I make this is what I do.
It's putting yourself out there.
Put yourself out there. Stay consistent. And trust me, your family, like, they usually say that it's the people around you that see that what's the passion, like your friends, your family. Make sure in church, on your WhatsApp story, put up that video, put up that item. If it's a corner of your house, make that content, right? Don't be afraid, just do it and stay consistent at it. Stay very consistent. I think also be open to learning. Be open to learning new things. Be open to making mistakes. Be open to failing, right? And just picking yourself up again and say, you know what, Teju, I can do this. Princess, I can do this. For me, I can do this, So first things first, do it afraid. Just do it. Be intentional and consistent with it. And be open to doing it and not getting money immediately, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because yes, you have to be open to, it is not for the money first. It is for, look at me, I'm here. I'm taking that bold step. This is what I can do. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want this to end, but we have to go. Teju, I am beyond delighted. I'm beyond grateful that you came on today. This was such a power-packed episode.
Thank you
can
so much.
Go on YouTube to watch it, to get all the juices. I'm sure if we had another hour, Teju will give us even more words of wisdom. And what I particularly love is that you didn't make it, you are not clocking anything in secrecy or spookiness. This is as good as it gets. So to that woman listening out there, put yourself out there. That's what Teju says. Start anyhow. That's how you build your confidence. That's how you get people to even trust in your brand before they can now trust you with their money.
Absolutely.
Teju, where can we find you before you go?
Okay, so I'll just do like an introduction again. So my name is Tejumola Okwade. I'm an interior designer. We work on residential and commercial spaces. We love to take spaces from scratch to finish. And we're super particular about making your space more functional than aesthetically pleasing. So I'm your go-to girl. On Instagram, my name is Pavon Designs, my personal page, Teju Pavon. And I'm also on LinkedIn, Tejumola Okwade. Thank you so much for having me.
This was such a good episode. I'm going to call you. But thank you. This is the Women Radio. Don't go anywhere. We still have amazing music, amazing shows everyone today. Catch you same time next week on Her Business on Women Radio 91.7. My name is Fumi Bangala. Do have a lovely day. Thank you so much, Teju.
Bye. Thank you.
Women Radio 91.7, breaking the culture of silence.
To sponsor this program, call the number 0816 480 7613.
Nigeria, a nation of many languages and many tribes. We will stand together, live